Thank you guys for coming. A lot of reflection over the past couple of days. Very proud of our kids. Just all of the accomplishments that they've achieved. Throughout the season. It's very tough going into the year, having really no realistic expectations. You can always hope, but when you're going into a whole new different situation with a whole new group of people who have never really seen anything that you're about to experience, you never know what to expect. And just proud of the way that they came together all year long, collectively to form the team that we are today. And when you sit back and you think, and you're 22-6, and you finish top 4 in the toughest league in the country with 11 new players added to your team, you're always going to be pleased. And but it's just so much more than that, just because of the whole year, the way that they've come together, the experiences that we've had, no drama. They've just been great kids, and it's capped off, Georgia becoming the newcomer of the year in the SEC and first team all conference. And I'm sure she probably got some consideration for player of the year. And that was really good for her, because coming over to this league, there were a lot of doubters out there. Obviously she did a wonderful job in the ACC, and with the level of physicality and the play, and a lot of people doubted what she could do, and she took a blind leap of faith, to follow me here. And our experiences have made us closer, and I've been proud of her, the person that she's become, the leader she's become, and what she did for this program for now, but also for the future. And then I can't be more excited for Clara Strack. Clara and what she was able to accomplish this year. Obviously, sitting last year and not playing a lot of minutes, and I saw the hunger on her face when she got here day one. She wanted to get going, and just for her to be recognized, as one of the best 16 players in this conference, and then the defensive player of the year. I was hoping that they were going to recognize that, because she does so many things that doesn't really pop up on the stat sheet. She does things that will pop up on the stat sheet, but she anchors our defense. She's very, very smart, understands it, has a great feel for it, and to be recognized by the coaches, that's a tremendous honor for her. So I was extremely proud of that. I was a little nervous that she might, get overlooked because she didn't come in with a big name. If I'm not mistaken, her and Georgia may be the only two that weren't McDonald's All-Americans on that list. I have to go back and look at it again, but just what they've been able to accomplish through a lot of grit, determination, hard work, and they didn't do it alone. Their teammates were exceptional all year long too.
Questions?
Coach, will you speak to the mental pressures of having to play a team for a second or maybe third time in a conference tournament setting?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if it's mental pressures. It's different. It used to be, when I first started coaching, we played in the CAA. It was a round robin. You played home and home, and then you might play them for a third time. And so it's just unusual for today's climate, because I think Georgia was the only team that we played twice this year. You kind of go off the experiences. It takes away the surprise element, because we know how physical they are, we know how fast they are, we know how good they are, and so it's not really like a mental pressure. It's just something that you just don't have to deal with all the time, but it kind of helps you out, because you never know how strong Reagan Beers is, and I'm not assuming that they're going to win, because they do have to get through Texas A&M or Georgia. But if it is the case, you do know how strong Reagan Beers is. On film, you can't see it until you actually go through it. You can't see how good they are until you get there. So I think it's more or less, okay, we have a good feel for them. They're probably saying the same thing, because it won't be the first time they see Georgia. So it's not a mental pressure. It's just something that's just kind of unique for this time of the year, or this day and age, so to speak.
King, when you talk about what Georgia did this season, but also did for the future, what do you mean exactly by that? What do you think she's done for the future here?
Well, what she's done this year, and she's come in and she's led our team perfectly. She's like my little translator. What I say on the court, she can take it into the locker room and say, hey, this is what he really means. A lot of eyes were on her in that locker room to see, how we operate, because other than her, Clara, and Gabby, no one had ever been, under my direction. And so watching her, probably leaning on her, playing off of her energy. I had a scout talk to me the other day, and they said that it's remarkable because she never gets too high, she never gets too low, she never gets flustered. You never see her mad out there. She always looks like she's having a good time, and that resonates through the team. And it kind of, they take on the persona, the personality of the point guard. And I've told her that since day one when she walked into my program. And then what she's done for the future is, she's made Kentucky women's basketball cool. With the recognition that she has, so many people know her. We go through the line to South Carolina at the South Carolina game, and she knows all of those kids because of their experiences, because she's been elevated to go to the same camps in the summertime, the Nike camps, the Kelsey Plum camps that they all go to. And so they got to see her, they got to recognize her and her greatness, and then, recruits do the same thing. I get calls all the time where people, want to be the next Georgia Amore or Georgia. And so she's really put us on the map, and, and it gives us an opportunity and a credibility. And I think that's going to last for a long time, because I think that she's going to continue with her career, and the association with Kentucky women's basketball will be there, and I think it will linger through and help us out in the future.
Coach, we know you're super intense. Has your practices, film sessions, team meetings, has it, increased now that this SEC tournament's coming up?
No, I mean, it's we still working like, kids will come in and watch film, and it's something that we do a lot. It's how we get better. The one thing that we have to be careful with is we just don't have as much depth, and so we can't go out there and go full bore. And Georgia and Clara and Tiani and Amelia, all those guys who play high minutes, Deja Lawrence, they can't really do a lot of that and still be effective, and so it's really more the mental aspect of it that we attack. But now we do have a couple of days. We will probably get in one really good practice, and the other ones will probably be a lot of mental. And then after the SEC tournament, we get an opportunity. We'll have like close to 10 days, and we'll be able to get some practice time in. And so coaches love this time of the year because, you got to rest them, but you also can tweak some things and you can fine tune some things.
Kenny, a lot of coaches use the conference tournament as kind of a test to tweak their teams for the NCAA tournament. What is your mindset going into this thing? Are you trying to win it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you meant, but a lot of people do look at it a lot differently. You look at LSU, and LSU put the focus on the NCAA tournament to rest Flage. We look at it as, okay, we went through the gauntlet, and we felt like here or there, other than the Texas game, I felt like we were in every game, and we had an opportunity. The Texas game was kind of weird, just because Clara Strack didn't really play in that game. She's in foul trouble. Tiani was in foul trouble. So we really don't know exactly if we, what we can do against them if we have our full complement of players. But we're going to take it one game at a time, to be very honest with you. One game at a time, and we feel like if we can do that, then we can focus and we can give ourselves a chance to win. Obviously our first round opponent, whoever it is, we've beaten them already. And so we know we can do that. Our second round opponent, is probably a team that, we played close enough that we feel like we can win. So, and any time, and the more we win, the better our seeding is going to be. So yes, you want to win the SEC championship, but you also want to position yourself the best you can for the NCAA tournament. Someone texts me and they say, "Do you think you can get a 2 seed?" And I'm like, I never really thought about it, but I guess if you win the SEC tournament, you probably will get a 2 seed. And so we feel like we have a chance. So we're definitely going down there, to put our best foot forward. And if we do that, we think we give ourselves a chance to win. But the main thing is you want to get better and you want to come out unscathed so you can be ready. And I've had opportunities and I've had experiences. I think when I coach, as long as I've coached, you're going to have all kinds of experiences. And we've had some where we came out of the conference tournament banged up, and it really affected the way that we played in the NCAA tournament. So you do hope that you come out unscathed, but we're going down to win it.
Kenny, does it feel good, or I think it would feel good, knowing there's no pressure as far as having to do anything specifically in a tournament to make sure you get to host the NCAA, or do you feel like that's not a given yet?
Yeah, I don't think it's a given. Anything can happen, and we haven't positioned ourselves to solidify to host already. We feel like there's probably still some things that have to happen. That's why we're looking at it anyway. But honestly, I haven't even really looked at it or the formula or what has to happen in order for us to host. It's just really living in the moment. And I'll let other people take care of that. And I've learned a long time ago, control what you can control, because if you sit around, you're thinking about all the things that need to happen, that can happen in order for it to finish. It's just usually just wasted time. And so you just focus on, the things that are right in front of you, and celebrating, Georgia and her accomplishments, celebrating Clara and her accomplishments, is try to get kids healthier, is try to get kids a little bit better. I want them to enjoy it, other than Clara and Georgia. Gabby and I think Deja played in the NCAA tournament once. We want them to really enjoy this experience.
Coach, very commonly you say all the time, we'll learn from this. I'm curious, before conference play to now, what do you think the team's learned the most?
I think they learned that if they do the things that they're capable and what we expect of them, they're a really good basketball team. And I think that they learned that they do those things, they can play with anyone. When you go down the stretch and you have a chance with, under 2 minutes to go and you have a chance to take the lead on LSU, you're a good basketball team. If you're under 5 minutes to go and it's a 1-point game at South Carolina, you're a good basketball team. And we didn't finish them the way we could or should have, but we learned from those experiences. So if you can play that way, and especially the South Carolina game on the road in front of 18,000 people, who were knowledgeable, who had routines. Right? The way they swung those towels, it was a routine. You can watch it on film, and you just think they're swinging towels. You get in that building, it is choreographed, and they are loud, and they are, and we calmed them down for a good bit of the game. But I even mentioned it. I've coached in a Final Four game. I've coached in an NBA arena where we had 16,000 people. I've never heard a building that loud and that choreographed. And I said it was a great atmosphere for women's basketball. It would have been a great atmosphere if it was a men's basketball game. It would have been a great atmosphere if it was an NBA game. And for our kids to really not get rattled and play through it until the last couple minutes, just proves that you can play with anybody if you come out and you do the things you're supposed to do.
Coach, what's been the most gratifying aspect of Clara Strack's growth this year as a player?
Clara, when we recruited Clara, I knew she was going to be special. Backstory on when I found her, I was in Atlantic City, and I was there to see a couple of her teammates. And actually, we signed 3 kids that year to go play. And I asked my assistant coach, I said, who's the tall kid? And he said, I think she's a young kid. And I said, well, go check. And she is a young kid, but she was of age, and we were going to be recruiting her. And immediately, I was supposed to leave that day, but I stayed around for the whole weekend to watch her. And I just kept watching her, and I said, you know what? She had a couple of kids on the team who ended up being McDonald's All-Americans. I said, she's going to be the best one of that group. And when we got her, we were very excited to get her because we couldn't recruit post players at all behind Liz Kittley. And we were excited to get one. And when we got her, immediately she showed me that she had the it factor. We put her in the first practice, and the kids she was playing against were throwing elbows all over the place, and she just played through it, didn't back down. We took her to Greece. The first game we played in Greece, she had 20 points and 14 rebounds because Kittley didn't play. And we were like, this kid's going to be special. And then it was just a matter of her learning, getting in shape, and learning how to play at this level. She broke the rotation. She got in our rotation before the end of the season. We didn't redshirt her like I anticipated we were going to do. And then when I came here, I was nervous because the one thing that Clara lacked last year was conditioning. She couldn't play long stretches because she just wasn't in as great shape. And I was scared because when I left her, other than her being at my house with Gabby, I didn't see her in a basketball form. And so I didn't see her for like 3 months, basketball form. And when she got here, I was nervous as heck. She walked in, of course, coach, what they typically do, they inspect the kid, make sure to see what they look like. And she looked good, and she was eager, and she wanted to work out that day. And when we put her through a series of workouts, I'm like, man, she's better than I had hoped that she would be when she came back. And then the stuff that we did this summer with her, we focused on things to consciously make her uncomfortable. We wanted her to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know, I made her do ball handling drills. I put the football pads on and I made people beat her up, and she just came through everything with flying colors. And I remember my son-in-law was here and he was watching one of the workouts and he was like, you know, he knew Clara and saw Clara last year. And he was like, who the hell is that? And we knew that she was going to be great. And she just wanted it on a team full of people who hadn't proven anything. She wanted it, and she continues to work as hard or harder than anybody that I've ever had to this day. You know, film study, coming in, can we shoot? Can we work on this? Can we work on that? And, you know, the fruits of her labor really paid off, and that's why I'm so proud, because she puts in the work. And I think she's only going to continue to get better and better and better, and because she just wants to get better, and she's never satisfied with what she is, so I'm very proud of her.
Is she fully healthy right now? You mentioned she had some issues before the South Carolina game.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them are going to be fully healthy right now, but she took, I don't know when or what, but she took a knee or something, and it was her thigh, and she was limping around, and honestly and you know, I thought about this because last year we had everything sewn up at Virginia Tech. We were the 1 seed, and we played that last game, and that's when Kelly got hurt. And so it's always in my head. We couldn't do any better or any worse. And so I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to rest Georgia. Clara got banged up. I'm like, maybe we'll rest them. And I looked at both of them. And I'm like, how you guys feel? And Clara's limping over. She said, I'm good. And I'm like, she's like the toughest kid I've ever seen. And I just kind of waited till the morning to see how she walked around at breakfast. And she looked okay. And she went out there and she was fine. So we'll probably give her another day or so rest. But her and Georgia both are two of the toughest kids I've ever seen in my life. And they were not going to sit that game out, and they wanted to play. And it was good for them because it was tremendous atmosphere, and they both proved who they are.
We've got time for one, maybe two more.
Coach, what are you expecting from a semi-neutral but very action-packed environment at Bon Secours? It's the first time the team's faced that kind of dynamic this season.
Where?
In Greenville, that's the name of the
Oh, okay. All right, everything's new. And we're excited, and obviously, you know, there's been a lot of attention on that tournament the last couple of years, some good, some bad. But we know the intensity. You know the people who are going to be in the building. You know that there's going to be, you know, you got Rebecca Lobo, Ryan Russo, and Holly Rowe there. They were never at the ACC tournament, so you know it's going to be pretty big time, and you're excited about it. But when you have that collection of talent and groups and high-level teams, I think what we have, like 5 out of the top 12 ranked teams in the country in one building, it's going to have that NCAA type feel. It's going to be a lot of intensity. So, you know, I think I said it before, stacked. You know, the SEC is stacked, and we're just glad that we're part of the stack. And you know, we're going to go in and, you know, do our best. But it's exciting to be a part of it. It's exciting to be a part of it with an opportunity to win and advance.
Final question.
Coach, you talked about, you know, you all not having as much depth earlier, but at the same time, you all have done that all year, playing without as much depth. How much confidence does that give you game in and game out, and moving forward, that you may not have as much depth as some of these other teams have, but you're 22-6 without that depth?
Yeah, it's very articulately said, and it's so funny because it's kind of what I said at the South Carolina game, and for some reason a lot of people took it the wrong way. You know, and basically what I said was, I'm proud of our kids and their resiliency. And they've gone out and they fought, and you know, our starters have had to play a little bit more in order for us to be successful. Our bench is coming along. We have two of my top 7 are freshmen, and their development has had to come quicker than we anticipated. But nonetheless, they're all eager, and I'm very proud of them. Very proud of all the kids and what they've been able to accomplish and what they had to endure this year in order for us to be successful. And they've all done it with a smile on their face. And you know, I would love to be able to rest Georgia some more, or Clara some more, or Amelia. Tiani gets enough because she's in foul trouble sometimes. But you know, I would love to be able to give them some additional rest. But we also, you know, doing what we've done, we've come away 22-6, and so I'm very, very proud of that and what they've been able to do. And you know, I've been saying it for a long time, and you guys are going to be excited next year when you watch Jordan Obi, and then you'll be able to say, man, if they had Jordan Obi, what would they have been this year? And that's kind of the way we feel. But at the same time, I'm extremely proud and excited for what the kids have done this year. And it just only amplifies what Georgia's leadership means to us. It amplifies, Deja Lawrence's heart. And, Deja doesn't feel good every day, but she goes out there and she plays 35 minutes against, one of the best teams in the country. And so everything that's happened this year, I think it's going to make us stronger. And I'm excited for what they were able to accomplish. And they deserve it. They deserve it because no group that I've had has been more well-behaved and hardworking than this group right here. And that's why I'm very proud of them.